We got a lot of new number ones to talk about in this week's episode of After the Poll. Which one reigns supreme? Well, we'll soon find out. Guys, welcome back. I'm Mike Spider Slayer. This is Comic Book Corner 2.0, and this is the video series where I take some of my most highly anticipated comics and I discuss them with you all, and I rank them from my least favorite all the way to my favorite. Now, will this top 5 hold out throughout the comic book week? Well, you will find out by the time we get to Tuesday night as I do my live stream with my best friends, Cat Comic Uno, Brant Fowler, as we talk about our top 5 comics, the big books of the week, and comic books worth of news. That's Comic Book Weekly every Tuesday night, 10:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Be there or be square. So I did read 6 books this week, and coming in at number 6 goes to SpiderMan 2099 Exodus issue 1. This book was a little bit disappointing for me. The story just really didn't get me hyped up for the main story that is getting ready to come out. However, it doesn't mean it was a horrible book. It doesn't mean I'm not going to read the next issue. I did think that the artwork in the book actually looked pretty good. There was some action in this book, but this was just a lead-in story to things that are about to come when it comes to Spidey 2099. What this story is about, in a nutshell, is that there's a celestial body that crashes into the wastelands outside of New York, and a new Garden of Eden just basically appears, and everyone is after that power because obviously it's a celestial being. Who doesn't want the power from a celestial? And it's the Cabal who is obviously the most hungry for this garden. And so you get to see that setup. You get to see Miguel kind of go after this file and try to find out what's going on and whatnot. We get to see a little bit of the AI in there. What was it, Layla and whatnot. But I mean, the overall book was just okay. There was some good interactions between Ghost Rider 2099 and Miguel O'Hara, but it just didn't blow me out of the water, get me to the point where it's like, man, this zero issue or this lead into this event was really good, like say the Flashpoint Beyond zero issue. So this one was just okay, so take it for what it is. If you're a fan of Spider-Man 2099, then you're gonna might want to check out this book. And maybe this actual Exodus issue is not necessary to read before the new number 1 comes out. So now we go on to the top 5. That's right, guys. The number 5 goes to Star Wars Obi-Wan issue 1. I got this because, you know what? It was May the 4th. I saw that Obi-Wan Kenobi second trailer. That got me pumped, and I'm like, oh man. You know what would be even better? If this comic book gets me pumped up for that show as well that's getting ready to come out on Disney Plus on the 27th. So I was like, all right, I'll check it out. And then I wound up getting this variant cover, this one right here. So I was like, all right, that's cool. Let's open this up. And so I open it up, and it's got this great artwork right from the start, right? It's got, you know, old man Ben Kenobi on there. I'm like, wow, this artwork looks great. You know, I'm so excited for it. And then as I flip through it, you know, Obi-Wan's, you know, anticipating this huge dust storm that's getting ready to come. So all he can do is go back in his journals and write in his journals and relive his past. Well, we go all the way back to the past when he was just some little kid teaming up with some female who wanted to go after to find her father. And she kind of leaves the Jedi Temple, and Ben Kenobi goes after her. And it was just some lame little story. And I didn't care about that person. And they go on this adventure. They come back to the Jedi Temple, and that person's like, no, it's like, as much as I love you, Ben Kenobi, I have to find my father. And Ben Kenobi's like, I sense great fear in you. Hopefully it doesn't lead to bad things. And she leaves him, and he doesn't know what has happened to her. Does she become good? Is she bad? Like, what happens, right? And that's the issue. I mean, there was nothing special about it. I was kind of disappointed by it, but at the same time, I was like, I get it. If you're kind of doing a flashback story of Ben Kenobi, you're like, okay, let's get the first little adventure out of the way, and the next issue is going to have him being a young apprentice towards Qui-Gon. So I think that's going to be a better issue than this one. when Ben Kenobi gets older, I think this book is going to get better, but I really didn't care about a young Ben Kenobi. And as a first issue, I don't think this is a very good hook to get people to continue reading this, but I'm going to stick with it. I'll see where it goes from here. Coming in at number 4, we have Twig. That's right, guys. So originally I wasn't buying this comic at all. Then, I saw some pictures, some variant covers. I'm like, it looks bright, vibrant, looks fun. I read a little bit more description of the book, and I'm like, you know what? Do I want to go on this adventure with Twig? And I was like, yeah, let me pack my bags. Let's go. Let's see what Twig has to offer. This one's written by Scotty Young. The artwork is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, this is what Scotty Young does best. He does these fantasy adventures. He doesn't do the artwork in this, but obviously this is definitely inspired by him. This is just right up his alley. And I love what he does. So I was like, why not check it out, right? So artwork looks great. I love the characters, their facial expressions. Twig is such like always a happy-go-lucky looking character. Well, this character Twig, he's got this new promotion at this job. He's running late and everyone's yelling at him, you're late, you're late, you're late. And he goes to this like weird mountaintop, and they got to go mining in this mountain that's actually alive. So they go into the belly of the beast and they're mining inside, and they come across this stone. So you get to see this stone, and we don't know what this stone does. So Twig's job is to go on adventures and find out what these things actually do, and he has to bring it to an individual by the name of the Path Sayer so they can analyze it and find out the importance of this stone. You get to see this little journey that Twig goes on following the map and whatnot, and they come to the house and to where this guy is supposed to be, and we find out that the dude is murdered. So now Twig is completely lost. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what this stone is. So what's next in store for Twig? Do I want to stop the adventure? The answer is no. I liked it. I thought it was good. It was a cute book. I think this book is perfect for all audiences, right? This is how we need the medium to grow, is to get the entire community involved in comic books. So when you make all age comic books, this is how, again, comic books can continue to thrive in the future. So I like Twig. I'm going to continue to go on the adventure with him, and we'll see how it turns out. Coming in at number 3, we got a new number 1 once again. This is the week of number 1s, and this is Metal Society issue 1. This is done by Top Cow, and this book was quite interesting. I actually really enjoyed it. Here's some of the interior art in this book. It's about a story of the robots that are controlling the world. And basically, I think what happened is humans basically were extinct, and the robots brought the humans back so they could kind of work for them. It's like a reversal role where we created robots and they work for us, right? So this is in a world where robots are in control, and basically at the beginning of this issue, we get to see this female battle this robot, or at least the beginnings of this fight, on supremacy, right? So the woman, Rosa, represents all the humans to fight for rights, and obviously the robot is going to battle her for the rights of robots. So it seemed quite interesting, right? In the meantime, before we got this fight, we get to learn about the humans here on how they are created and how they are birthed and how there is no children, and quite interesting. And we get to learn a little bit more of the main character by the name of Rosa and how she hates following the rules of the robots, and she winds up taking up all her frustrations in the gym. So basically you really learn how she has become this great fighter because she's constantly trained in the gym to take out the frustrations on the robots, and she gets recruited to actually do this fight. So I'm really looking forward to this book. I think this is a winner here. This is something that you should read. This is something different, and yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait for issue 2. Coming in at number 2 on this week's countdown goes to the only book that's not a number 1 issue this week, and it goes to Batman issue 123, and this is The Shadow War Part 5. I really enjoyed this part of The Shadow War. The artwork has been good in this series overall, even though the artwork changes depending on the book that you're reading. You got Clown Hunter, Ghostmaker in this book. We get to see a little bit of Damian in here as well, and we get to see the Batwing and you know, all these different types of characters in here. So I thought it was good. Again, very gritty. What could you expect from a Batman book, right? So in this part of the series, we're trying to investigate who obviously killed Ra's, and we're getting to the bottom of it. We're narrowing down certain suspects and whatnot. And so what happens is Bruce Wayne and Damian wind up working together, which is cool to see that again. And we wind up finding out that we think that it's someone from the Royal Flush Gang dressed up as Slade Wilson who actually killed Ra's. And however, the person that they interrogated in jail never saw this person before. So again, we still don't know who this person is, but again, we're narrowing it down a little bit, okay? So Batman and Damian do their thing, they're investigating. We got Ghostmaker, in this issue, he's the leader of Batman Incorporated, and it's kind of funny because the Batman Incorporated people don't quite acknowledge Ghostmaker as the leader of their team, and they're kind of just like, yeah, you know, Batman would do this, and he goes, don't listen to Batman, listen to me. So I think Ghostmaker might be starting to get a little bit jealous of Batman because Incorporated might respect him or give him the respect that he feels that he requires, right? So I saw that in this book, and this could lead to something a little bit more in the future, right? At the same time, we wind up seeing Deathstroke, Rose, and Respawn trying to find out who the murderer is as well. And so they go back to the scene of the crime. Talia's ninjas wind up attacking them, and there's this big brawl that happens, and Respawn tries to protect his father, and he gets caught in the crossfire, and we're led to believe at the end of this issue that maybe possibly Respawn is dead already. After he's just been introduced in the title of Robin, Deathstroke is beside himself. He's like, oh my God, not again. So does Respawn truly die? Or does he follow his name and respawn? So really good book. I quite enjoyed it. I can't wait to read part 6 of this. This has been living up to its hype. I think this has been a fun Batman event at this point. So my number 1 book goes to Flashpoint Beyond issue 1 of 6. This is really close to the Batman issue, but you know, that 0 issue really sold this event for me, and after reading this number 1 issue, I was just as hooked, and I can't wait for issue number 2. The artwork in this book is actually really good. I've enjoyed it. Here you get Thomas Wayne eating with Harvey Dent's kid, which made for some good moments in this book, and I think what I liked most about this book is that this is a very serious book, but they found ways to insert humor, so it's not all serious and all dark. And those parts has to deal with the Penguin taking care of a Harvey Dent's kid, because Thomas Wayne is going out on this mission, and he's like, you gotta watch this kid. And he's like, but I don't know what to do with it. How do I feed it? You know, instead of playing like board games with the kid, he like teaches it how to, he teaches the kid how to shoot guns. Like, who does that, right? But it was so hysterical. And he's like, dude, you know, he's like, he had to leave him for a minute, and he's like, well, what did you do? Did you hit the ceiling? Or you might actually hit a target. You came really close this time. And he almost like destroys freaking Thomas Wayne's house. It was hilarious. But in the meantime, we wind up getting to see Thomas Wayne go out on the mission to still try to find out what has happened. Why did everything that happened in Flashpoint get reverted back? So what he has to do is he has to go out and he has to find the lasso of truth. Now, everything that happened in Flashpoint is happening again, X-Men. You wind up getting to see the Amazons fight the Atlanteans and Emperor Aquaman trying to control the Earth. And so what happens is Wonder Woman is captured. She's about to die, and Thomas Wayne rescues her, gets the lassos of truth, used the lasso of truth to try to get the truth out of Aquaman on who sent out his little henchman to kill Barry Allen, right? And we found out that it wasn't Aquaman, and it wasn't him that sent out that henchman or whatnot. So we found out a lot of stuff there, and Wonder Woman just takes care of Aquaman right there and then who knows what's going to happen from there. But Thomas Wayne just does not get his answers. He's coming to roadblocks in every turn that he gets. This was a very entertaining issue. I love the artwork and the action scenes in this book. It was just so well done, and this definitely had me hooked. Love the humor in this book as well. And then at the end of this book, we go into our Earth Prime, right? And we see that Barry realizes that there's something wrong. He thinks that Reverse Flash is coming back. Something's wrong with the time stream, whatever the case may be. And Bruce is like, well, I have no idea what's going on. He's like, I'm sure you'll figure it out. He's like, I'll help you out. I'll be on top of things. And really, you know, Batman is the one responsible for everything that is going on here. And the one interesting little aspect of this book is that it looks like time is set 11 minutes back. So when you go into Thomas Wayne's world, right, it's like all the clocks are set 11 minutes back. So quite interesting here. I'm very intrigued. I really like this book. I can't wait to see where it goes. Awesome story. Very curious to hear what you guys think of Flashpoint Beyond issue 1 at this point. So those are my favorite books of the week, guys. So as always, if you love the content, I'll leave you more content right here to click on. In fact, this is my most recent New Comic Book Day haul. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And as always, keep buying, keep collecting, and most importantly, always read your comics. Guys, thank you so much. Take care.